How's it going, everybody? The gargantuan Xbox FTC leaks. I want to go over primarily ZeniMax and Bethesda's upcoming games roadmap that I found very interesting because while I think the Bethesda acquisition for Microsoft at this point, it's been somewhat mid. Like, let's be real, Redfall was a complete disaster, and Starfield I think is a very good game. Some people don't like it as much, and some people see it as a step down from, let's say, some of the older Bethesda titles, but I think that was a major coup for Microsoft to have Starfield as a console exclusive for them. But now we start to get an idea of all of the other games that are going to be exclusive to Microsoft, and it's kind of eye-opening in the sense that a lot of these games I feel like are legit system sellers for the platform for you to either get an Xbox or to get a PC, because they will be on PC if they ultimately end up coming to fruition. And yeah, I do want to go over that, as these are some major titles that PlayStation is going to be missing out on, which I can definitely understand that to be a bummer for PlayStation-only people, as these are major titles that you would have at one point expected to come to PlayStation, but after that $7.5 billion deal, that looks like it won't be happening. So you already know about a lot of these titles. Starfield, Redfall, they go over Doom. Ghostwire Tokyo is listed as well. Remember, this was an older listing, and Ghostwire Tokyo ended up actually being a PlayStation timed exclusive, which I found interesting, and we'll get to that more in a little bit. Then you have the Indiana Jones game. That will be an Xbox exclusive, and I think outside of the traditional Bethesda titles, you know, those open world titles like a Starfield, Fallout 4, when Indiana Jones ultimately comes out, I feel like that's going to be a game a lot of people are going to be like, wow, kind of sucks that's not on PlayStation. Like, Redfall ended up being a disaster, but Indiana Jones, being done by Machine Games, an incredibly talented studio of a very iconic IP, if they deliver on this game, I think that's going to be one where people are like, okay, that is a big title. That is a console exclusive for Microsoft. Then you look at stuff like the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remaster. I think Oblivion is an incredibly iconic game that if you do a quality remaster of it, that could be something that gets people pointed towards the Xbox and PC direction. And also, it really depends how big of a remaster it is. If it's a thrown together, slapped together remaster, like, it is what it is. But if it's a full-on, like, closer to a remake than a remaster, that would be pretty exciting. And if it's a ground-up remake, well, obviously, people would be super excited about that. Then you talk about Doom Year Zero. That is noted to be the next Doom title and downloadable content for that game. Who knows when that can actually come out, but Doom Eternal came out in 2020. Doom 2016 obviously came out in 2016, so, I mean, if it lines up, Doom Year Zero could be a fall 2024 title, which could be a major game for Microsoft that will not be on PlayStation as well. Project Kestrel is noted. I don't know what that is, but yeah. Then they also know Project Platinum, again, don't know what that is. Then you look at their final lineup of games, which I find to be the most interesting. So the Elder Scrolls 6 has been a big talking point on whether or not it's going to be an exclusive. Guys, it's not coming to PlayStation. Like, let's be real, unless things really shift, I really don't believe Elder Scrolls 6 is going to come to PlayStation. I feel like Elder Scrolls 6 is a big enough game where, like, I don't know, like, if I'm Sony, I would, like, have a conversation with Microsoft being like, yo, we'll give you one of our exclusives for one of your exclusives. Like, I don't know, I would try to make some sort of deal. And Microsoft seems to be pretty open to working together. Like, I don't know, like, it's just, that would suck if that's not on PlayStation. I don't think it's gonna be. And, you know, Starfield is one thing, it was a brand new IP, but Elder Scrolls is, like, iconic in the gaming world, and by the time that 2028 or whenever it comes out rolls out, like, that hype and anticipation for this game is going to be crazy. I know a lot of people have just given up faith in Bethesda and delivering high quality games because they felt one way about Fallout 4, felt one way about Starfield, absolutely felt one way about Fallout 76, but feel like Elder Scrolls 6 is still, by the time we get to 2028 or whenever it's going to be released, the hype and anticipation for this game is going to be through the roof. So you see how big Skyrim was, and you're talking about a 17-year layoff if it's 2028 from the release of Skyrim to Elder Scrolls 6. I think the hype for Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be even bigger than Skyrim, so take that for what you will. Project Kestrel expansion, licensed IP game, who knows what that could be? Maybe an Indiana Jones sequel? I don't know, just throwing out ideas there, but yeah. Fallout 3 remaster, which Fallout 3, another iconic game, and it would beg the question, would they do a Fallout New Vegas remaster? Fallout New Vegas 2, that's stuff to consider as well. Elder Scrolls Online expansion, Ghostwire Tokyo sequel, I don't know if that's still on the table. That could have easily been scrapped, because they probably had the idea idea of potentially doing a Ghostwire Tokyo sequel before the release of Ghostwire Tokyo, given how this document is outlined. I don't know if that's still gonna happen. If you played Ghostwire Tokyo, like, I thought the story fell off in the second half, but it feels like it doesn't have a lot of room to go for a sequel. I don't know. They could easily start a new story arc, but I don't know if Ghostwire Tokyo is that IP that Microsoft and Bethesda really want to invest into. It's not like it did crazy numbers commercially from what I know, so we'll see if that happens, and interesting if that does get a sequel. That was initially a PlayStation timed exclusive, and if it does get a sequel, it would be a Microsoft exclusive, so funny how that works. Dishonored 3, I know some people are mid about Dishonored or don't like Dishonored as much as I do, but I love Dishonored 1 and 2, and Dishonored 3, to me, missing out on that on PlayStation, that's huge. Like, that's a massive, massive release. Like, Arcane Leon, Redfall, nobody cared about missing out on that. Dishonored 3, done by the Deathloop team, and obviously the Dishonored team of Arcane, that would be a major title that people would be very, very disappointed in missing out. And again, to me, I think Dishonored 3 would be a legit system seller. I don't think it's going to be out for a while, given that Deathloop came out in the fall of 2021, and, you know, that Arcane team is fairly decent at rolling out their games, but I still would think 2025 at the earliest for Dishonored 3, so that's probably going to be a lengthy ways away, but yeah, I think Dishonored 3 would be a huge title for PlayStation to miss out on, and when you look at this, you know, the remasters of Elder Scrolls 4 and Fallout 3, like, eventually you would think those would happen. Missing out on those, you can make the argument, hey, they're just remasters, and who knows if they'll be full-on remakes. Like, if that's not the case, who really cares about those? You could make that argument, but when you're missing out on stuff like Dishonored 3, Elder Scrolls 6, which again is gonna be 2028, and Indiana Jones, I think those are the main titles I look at. Hi-Fi Rush is a game that was outlined here, as well as Project Hibiki. If they do a sequel for that, I think that's a game that is a smaller scale release, but kind of at that Gravity Rush level, I feel, where people will still pay attention to a Hi-Fi Rush, and, you know, Gravity Rush, unfortunately, went to the wayside, so, you know, that's a bummer. I wish they could take a fraction of that, live service money and, you know, put it towards a Gravity Rush 3, but I get it, you know, it is what it is, but, yeah, when I look at this, Dishonored 3, Elder Scrolls 6, and Indiana Jones, those are the ones that really stick out to me, and obviously Doom Year Zero. Like, Doom Year Zero will be big. I'm not the craziest Doom fan, so, like, that doesn't stick out to me as much, although I really enjoyed 2016 and Eternal, but those are just games I feel like, to me, are just mindless fun, so I don't attach to them as much, but Indiana Jones being a huge IP, you know, Dishonored 3 being a game that, that could be a potential sequel to two games that I loved, and Elder Scrolls 6 is self-explanatory, so that is definitely something to keep an eye on, and would be very unfortunate. But this is obviously not final, because it's listed like fiscal year 24E for Elder Scrolls 6, bro, this ain't coming out until 2028. And Phil Spencer did put out a tweet being like, it was unfortunate that all this stuff leaked, these are not final plans, etc., because I don't see Ghostwire Tokyo sequel. That seems a little jarring to me. I don't see that coming, but Dishonored 3 seems like a no-brainer. Elder Scrolls 6, obviously. Fallout 3 remaster, Oblivion remaster, like, all that stuff is fairly obvious. It's just when it's outlined like this, it's like, man, PlayStation could be missing out on a lot of stuff, and I don't know, if, like, some of these games deliver, it's gonna get to the point where I feel like, yo, just go buy a Series S for, like, $250, and you'll be able to play a lot of these games if you want to be a console-only guy, or if you want to get a PC, go for it. But, yeah, just stuff to know. But that'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.